Video games are awesome. I think you and me both know that, right? But something that is often brought up in video game discussion is gameplay is the most important part of a game. And obviously it is important because how are you going to play the game if it has no gameplay at all, excluding visual novels? But is it really the most important part of the game, or is it like a pie where there's different slices, but then when you put them together it's a whole? Okay, transition to the next part of the video now. So another important part about video games is the characters, because there's so many iconic characters in just gaming, and like lots of games just wouldn't be the same without them. Like for example, Sonic, his design is immediately recognizable, especially with the movies now. Just about anybody could probably recognize Sonic, and just his coolness, and without him Sonic games just would not be that good. Another thing that I wanted to bring up is sound design and music of video games. Have you ever played a game and the sound design is just so awesome? Like when you're playing an old school Mega Man game and you're charging up your Buster Shot and it just sounds awesome? Or what about when you're playing Dark Souls and you get a parry and it just feels so awesome as well? And even if it's not something that you would listen to on its own, I'm pretty sure it's hard to deny that the music in video games can do a really good job at setting the tone of what you're playing. And the fourth and final piece of the pie that makes this whole game whole is the graphics. And lots of people say that they don't care about graphics or that graphics don't matter, but that's just not true, because graphics are way more than just being hyper realistic and all that stuff. Because a game doesn't need to be super realistic to have good graphics. You could just look at the Paper Mario games, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, or like just tons of indie games that are using like a retro style. Before retro was like 8-bit, 16-bit games, now it's low poly games. You could say that those styles are a bit overused, but they're still pretty timeless. A game does not need to be realistic to look really good. And even if you're into playing retro games, you can still keep in mind that those games, even if they do still look, some of them do still look good today, back then those were good looking games. So you also have to have like standards and stuff, because how are you going to expect a new game and it's not gonna look like the product that would come out at the time? And also don't forget about like graphics also have to do with texturing, models, extra stuff that I can't even think of right now because I'm no expert. But there's a lot of things that do matter, and graphics do matter because it's what you're gonna look at for the whole game that you're gonna play. So guys, that was my video. Of course there's other things that I could have talked about, more nuanced things like the balancing, I guess level design, progression, other stuff like that. But you know, I don't want this video to be so long, and I'm just kind of stupid, so I wouldn't be able to explain those things at all. I could barely explain the things that I explained in this video. But if you like this video, make sure to leave a like and comment down below what you think, because video games are awesome, and when people say gameplay is the only thing that matters, I think that's just very silly. And it's also very silly for me to explain why that's Not true, but yeah, if gameplay is the only thing that matters, we should play Unity with template assets, Unity games with template assets. You know, nothing at all. It's just the game that you're playing. So, goodbye.